I start whenever?
Whenever you are ready, as long as it's in the next 20 seconds.
Have any of you guys ever been to a sports event where you've been surprised of referee calls? My major claim is that referees in sports games have changed the outcome of games for their own self-interest. My first claim is that some referees change games because of monetary issues. My second claim is that referees change games because of who they're refing, or the coach, or the team, stuff like that. And my last claim is that referees make decisions differently based on who the home team is. My first claim about referees with monetary involvement, I have a thing about Tim Donahue, who was an NBA referee who got caught for betting, like having people bet games for him and like giving people information. So he would pretty much like fix the games by reffing, which was sourced in the ESPN website. And then another supporting claim that I have is that Jake O'Donnell and other referees have actually asked NBA players like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and stuff for like merchandise and like basketballs and like clothes after the game. So it just shows that like they had a connection between them. They wanted to like pretty much get stuff out of letting them win. This was found in the other ESPN one. Alright, my next claim is that referees make calls based on who the players or who the coach is or what team they're coaching. There was one referee who used to one referee claimed that another referee used to bring cookies to one coach specifically every game, but they didn't say who that was, but they kept names. Right, this was found in a news report for the refs and the relations with coaches. Another study showed that white officials made calls, more likely to make calls on black players and vice versa, which was a study made from Yahoo Sports. And then my last thing for that supporting claim was that after like Tim Donahue was caught for the betting scandal, he agreed with, like, after he talked with officials and stuff, he agreed that many refs change the outcome of games just based on how they like the coach or who the coach is or what team they're playing against, or attitudes or stuff like that. My last claim was that referees make calls based on different like stadiums they're in, different home games. Like a study in Harvard led to about UK soccer games that the home team sways the referee's decision sometimes because of the loud noise is everything going on by Ryan Boyko. Refs in another study about NCAA basketball referred that they try to keep fouls even though, so like if a team plays aggressive, they'll start calling fouls on the other team in the second half just to make the foul count even, so it doesn't look like they're screwing up. And then also statement by the SCRRS stated that fewer calls are called on the home team, which I don't know if any of you guys seen the previous NFC Championship game, but they had like extreme bias towards the home team, and that happens in a lot of home games. Like coach from the Nuggets said that 25% of the referees he doesn't trust when he plays in Staples Center, but like if he plays at home he trusts 100% of them because it's just how the referees do their job.
Right, you've got a pretty clear statement of the proposition and the secondary points. There ought to be plenty of controversy on a subject like this. Your first point's really dependent on the one example that you have. I'm not exactly sure why requesting souvenirs or some autograph after a game of a famous player shows that they are biased in some way, shape, or form. That's a big inference to make. I see the same problem later on when you make the argument that some referee occasionally brings cookies regularly to one of the coaches. Okay, why does that mean that they're biased? The inference there seems to be that because they have a personal relationship that there's going to be bias. That, I think, might be an argument that's worth developing, and then you could talk about how many referees have personal relationships either with the coaches or with the players, and I think that that's where that argument ought to go. The one NBA referee, you need to show how typical that kind of thing is, because I think that that's otherwise you've got a single example, and drawing a generalization from that example is a little bit problematic. I was a little confused on some of the stuff that you said at the end. At one point you say, the referees try and balance out the fouls that they call. For instance, I guess it was in basketball that you were talking about. If they seemed like they were heavy-handed in the first half, they'd go on the second half on the other team. But how can that be true if they always favor the home team? That seems inconsistent.
No, for the home game.
Well, it's always somebody's home game.
No, I mean, it was against, if...
No, I understood your argument. In other words, are you saying they only try and balance it out for the home games? Then you need to say that. Well, I still don't understand the argument. It still is not clear. Your Yahoo study about the racial issue being part of the fouls being called, you're going to have to provide some more data on that study because it just seems very conclusionary and vague. So if you've got the study, you should cite it and take direct quotes from it as opposed to paraphrasing the results. Well, 29 people aren't getting the outline. They're getting the speech. Nicholas.